welcome back to Attitude, Effort, Results presented by Teamwork Online. I'm your host, Tanner Naskey. You guys ready for year two? Are you ready for year two? I mean, year one was pretty great, but we did that with 2.5 people. We got 6 people on our team now. So if you guys aren't ready for year two, you should get ready. We have hundreds of listeners every week. We have thousands of views on Instagram. We have thousands of impressions on LinkedIn. And we really only have 2 social media platforms. And we're growing to 5 social media platforms because we've hired 3 more people for a total of 6 people here at Attitude, Effort, Results. I'm going to give you the names again because you're going to need to know them because that's who's going to run this thing. Me, I'm probably the least important person here. Hunter, who does all of our content and helps me create episodes continually, will help push out. Caitlin, who got a job with ESPN and the ACC network, not because of us, because she was doing great things beforehand. But if you want to learn from somebody who went from dreaming about a job to their dream job right out of college, this is a podcast you want to listen to. She's an individual you want to be around. She's going to be helping with social media from a management standpoint. But Kyron Rudolph and Maddie Moats Carr are going to be pushing everything out on social media. And the reason we had to hire those people is because you keep sharing this. And it actually amazes me how many people share this episode, whether that's privately or whether that's on social media. We appreciate you guys. We appreciate you so much. You made us grow. We have to continue growing with you, and that's a phenomenal problem to have. So those 3 ladies are going to pump out social media. In addition to that, we are going to start selling sponsorships here on the show. We talked about it in previous episode. You got to say it out loud in order for it to become a thing. So we're saying it out loud. If you guys know people who would like exposure to thousands of young professionals and college kids, DM us on ooh, had a little Southern come out of me there, and I'm not even from the South. DM us on Instagram at Attitude Effort Results or DM me individually. You can also reach out to us on LinkedIn at Attitude Effort Results. Again, you can reach out to me individually as well. In addition to that, we are going to be starting an email list to keep you involved. Again, we've talked about it previously. Saying this out loud holds us accountable. So by putting this into a mic that will live forever of eternity on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, we're going to have to create it. So we're going to keep ourselves accountable, taking our advice from previous episodes. And I'm saying this out loud because I want it to happen. We'll talk about the email list more in depth down the road, but if you would like to send us your email and get daily, not daily, that's probably aggressive. Nobody likes those, and probably everybody would unsubscribe. Potentially weekly, but most likely monthly episode or monthly snippets to start. Hunter's a phenomenal writer, which is why these episodes flow well because he writes a lot of them. He's going to create an Attitude, Effort, Results monthly or something along those lines. Again, we're going to take off. We're going to get this thing in the air, and we'll figure out how to build a plane once we're in the air. But we're going to have a Listener of the Week segment. We're going to have an Attitude, Effort, Result teammate spotlight, things that are happening previously, things that are happening in the future, partnerships, everything like that. So if you want to send us your email, great. We're going to start throwing out some social media stuff that you can add your email there. We'll add you to the email list. You can also send this to all of your friends, and you can send us a list of your friends' emails. I don't even have to know them. You don't even have to know them. If you got a list of emails, send it to us. We'll pump this thing out to us, to you guys here pretty quickly. All right, today's episode, how to have an effective day. The reason for today's episode is to create people who do. Just create doers. Is that a Home Depot slogan? Am I going to get sued by Home Depot? Home Depot, please don't sue me. Create doers. Doers get more done. Maybe that's it. Well, I'm not going to say, I just said it. Today's episode, we're going to create doers. We go through weeks and months and years, some of us, without changing. No change, no growth, no personal, no professional, no relationship growth. Listen, I don't have a perfect ending in life. There is no perfect ending in life for you. I talk to my family and friends and my now wife. Oh, hey, what's up? Not sure I said that out loud on the podcast, but I'm married now. That's cool to say out loud. Talk to my wife, Callie, a decent amount about buying properties. I want to buy properties. I want to have rental properties. And people always ask, like, what's the end goal? There isn't one. That will never stop. There is no end goal. And for some people, I'd be like, what? What do you mean? You're just doing stuff with no end goal? No, I'm doing stuff to have progress. I'm growing in life. I'm not perfect in life, but I'm growing in life. There is no perfect ending, in my personal opinion. But to grow is important. That's what makes this life fun. Today, we're going to give you actionable steps to kill the day, to be elite in what you do. The first thing we're going to talk about today, some people are not going to like this. I'm telling you right now, you're really, really, really not going to like it. You ready for it? Make a to-do list, but then just throw out the to-do list, because if you make a to-do list, you're not going to be successful. Turn that to-do list into a success list. And I'm going to tell you why a success list is way more impactful than a to-do list. The first thing is that our subconscious mind controls pretty much everything that we do. Probably 85% of what we do in our day is from the subconscious mind, and 15% is from the conscious mind. You know how you guys drive home and you're like, don't even know how I got here. Sometimes you do things in the morning and somebody's like, hey, what'd you do this morning? You're like, I don't even know. Because you just do it on a routine. That's why routines are so important, because you're programming your subconscious mind. A to-do list sucks. It sucks. Nobody wants to complete a to-do list. Really, in your subconscious, you don't want to complete a to-do list. Why? It doesn't sound fun. Like, who wants, like, oh, I have to do this? Remember you were a kid doing chores, like, oh, I have to complete this to-do list mom and dad gave me? I have to do these things my boss told me to do? That sucks. That sounds boring. And your brain is just like, good Lord, I have to complete this list. I don't even want to do this. Simply by changing your to-do list title into a success list will subconsciously program your brain into being successful, because it gives your brain something it likes, something a little sexy, something to make today fun. By calling it a success list, you rewire your brain into having success when you cross that off the list, instead of just getting your to-do list done. Are you guys with me on this, or am I spewing BS right now? Comment if you're, just comment on something. Let me know if this is just absolute BS or if you're with me. You can reach out to us on Instagram too. That's fine. A to-do list seems mundane, and you may put tasks on there that truthfully are just not prioritized. You could get, if you have a to-do list that's 10 things long, you could get 2 through 9 or 2 through 10 done and it not be a productive day, because you're just crossing things off the to-do list. A success list will help you build priority when creating that list. We have 24 hours a day. Everybody has the exact same amount of time. The worst excuse in the world is time, because we all have the exact same amount and nobody will ever be able to change that. And a success list helps you build priority when creating that list, because it lays out how we can make these 24 hours that each of us have a successful day. First actionable step: create time to succeed at each task. So if you would like to transition from your to-do list to your success list, I'll give you a pass. Write out your to-do list on one side of the piece of paper. You can write a title, to do, write your 4 things that you have to do. This is just a transition period. Now write on the right side of the piece of paper, title it success list, okay? Underline it so you know that it's real. Because if you don't underline it, it's not real. Now take these 4 items on your to-do list and order them in terms of priority and now write them on your success list. Okay? This marks your successful day. And now when you cross off number 1, because you will only work on number 1 until number 1 is done, that's a successful day. If you can get number 1 done every single day, that's a successful day. Because guess what? Your success list is written by you. That's what you believe is a priority today. That's what your goals are. You create that list. And if you can get the number 1 priority done every single day, you will grow. You will grow. Because, again, if you have 10 things and you get 2 through 10 done, that might not be successful. Because number 1 might be the only thing that drives your goals forward. And you never do it because you crossed 9 out of 10 things off of this to-do list. That's 90%. That's a pretty good day. If you do 90% of the things you need to do, that's a pretty good day. However, number 1 could stay on that to-do list forever. And you could never drive that business forward. You could never enroll in those classes. You could never join that club. You could never talk to that girl, talk to that boy. But if you order it on a success list, number 1 priority every day, if you get that done, you will grow. And this life is not about perfection. There's not an end goal. It's about growing. How do we do that? Let's create time to succeed at each task. Create time to succeed at each task. Time out when you're going to complete each task and write that on a calendar. If you work better in your calendar on your phone, which I personally do, because then at any point if somebody schedules something, I can go into my calendar and I can look. Do I have Tuesday at 4 p.m. available? I don't know. Let me go look. Oh no, guess what? Tuesday at 4 p.m., that's my time to, for me, it'd be prospect businesses, make cold calls, work on attitude, effort, results, podcasting, prepare for an interview, right? I would have that time blocked already. For Hunter, he actually uses a physical calendar because he cannot get distracted by his phone when looking at his calendar on his phone if it's never actually on his calendar on his phone. So by using a physical calendar, one of his goals is to not be on his phone and not be distracted by his phone. Writes on a physical calendar. If that's what you need to do, that's what you need to do. The second is to balance effectiveness and efficiency. Right? The late Peter Drucker, yes, we do research, says this: efficiency is doing things right, and effectiveness is doing the right things. Set your clear goals, evaluate your performance, encourage continuous improvement. And as we've said in previous episodes, ask questions. Listen, I get it. If you time out everything in your day, you feel like a robot. We don't want to make every day seem so tactical and so structured that you feel like a robot. However, these are steps. And here are some questions that you need to be asking yourself. It's crucial, especially in the hustle of industries these days, especially in the sports industry. I live by this success list so in depth that I have a personal one and a work one, and I time out my personal time and my work time. If Callie and I need to go to the grocery store, I will time out. We have church from 8:30 to 10. We're going to go shopping from 10 to 11. It's going to take a half hour to get home, 11:30. From 11:30, we'll do this. We'll eat lunch at noon. That'll take us 30 minutes. From 12:30 to 1:30, I'm going to work on the podcast. So then what that also does, that frees, I don't think, let's just say in that scenario, 1:30 to 2:30 on a Sunday, I'm going to work on the podcast. I don't think about the podcast all day. Those thoughts, those worries, those anxieties never come up in my head until 1:30 because I timed it out. That's what a success list does. It's because you can focus on one task at a time. And then in addition to that, batch your success list together. When Hunter and I started this podcast, I'm going to blow up a couple individuals' thought process on how this thing is done. And some of you guys aren't going to like it, but that's okay. Guess what? We don't record episodes on Thursday morning before 6 a.m. when they're released. I wish I would say we're up at 4 to record an episode every single Thursday morning, but we don't. We kind of cheat the system. However, when we started, Hunter and I, we did do one episode every single Monday night. Every Monday night, we would go and plan one episode, record one episode. Then the next week, we would plan one episode, record one episode. The following week, we'd plan one episode, record one episode. You guys get the picture? Now, because we've grown and we like being efficient, we plan 3 or 4 episodes. And then we record 3 or 4 episodes. So we record almost a month worth of episodes in a singular day. Guess what? That keeps us in the zone. That keeps us efficient with our time. Because guess what? We get locked the F in. We got that beeper button over there? We are locked in. When we can batch our success list together, in this scenario, our success list is plan and record 3 or 4 episodes. If we can time that out, hey, we're going to take, how long does it take us to 3 or 4 episodes? Probably 6 or 8 hours, somewhere in there, depending on how much we talk about life. Now we just have full podcast days. It frees up the rest of our week. Hypothetically, if we didn't ever want to do it the rest of the month, we only have to do it once a month. We try to stay ahead for our social media and marketing team so they can do their jobs and carry on with their day. And they can time block their time. So now they can edit, market, plan post for 3 or 4 episodes all in one time block so they can be efficient with their time. It frees up the rest of our weeks. That's important. But we're also better at what we do because we're locked in for 6 or 8 hours on one task. And that one task is planning episodes, then recording. We used to, in the middle of that, plan an episode, then record it. We do 3 or 4 in a day, but we plan, then record, plan, then record, plan, then record. Well, guess what? Now we plan everything first because now we're in writing mode. Now we're in thought mode. Now our ideas are cooking. And now we will usually take a break, walk outside, go to the pool, have lunch, whatever. Now we come back and we record. So now my brain is in recording mode for 3 or 4 episodes in a row. And now we're locked in. We got more energy. I drink a Celsius, so I'm all hyped up. And we're ready to rock. So not only does it free up our times when we batch our success list, we are locked in because we're doing one task for a certain amount of time, just rinse and repeat that task. We're way more efficient with our time, and we have more time for ourselves and our actual jobs and our families and my wife and our friends. That's why batching your success is so important. So an actionable step for your success list is if you have that same thing on your success list week over week over week, just do it all in one time. In addition to that, stacking your wins is so important. So important. I want you guys just to observe around you the next couple of weeks how one small win can turn into another small win. I'm going to ask a question. This question is going to determine, well, it's not going to determine anything. I'm going to ask you a question, and I'm curious to know if this has ever happened to you. Have you ever been hanging out at your apartment, your house, your condo, your mansion? I don't know where you guys live. If it's a mansion, please invite me. That sounds fun. Have you ever started, you know what, I'm just going to wipe the countertops down. I'm just going to clean the countertops. I'm just going to clean the table. And then all of a sudden you're like, I got this cleaning supplies in my hand. I'm just going to go clean the bathroom. While you're in the bathroom, you're like, toilets and showers need cleaning. I'm just going to clean that. You know what? Now that those are clean, I don't really want to walk to a clean shower on a dirty floor. Let me sweep. Let me Swiffer the floor. Let me wash the floor. Well, you know what? If I'm washing the bathroom floor, I might as well just wash the rest of the apartment floor. Now the whole floor is clean. Well, shoot, if the floor is clean, like now I got to vacuum the carpets. Well, if the carpets are vacuumed, they better sit on a clean couch. So now I'm going to wipe down the couch. I'm going to wipe down the TV remote. Well, shoot, if someone's going to come in or if I'm going to come in and everything's clean, like the light bulbs can't be dusty. I'm going to go dust the light bulbs. Well, shoot, if everything in this apartment is clean, I'm going to make the outside look great. Maybe I'm going to go water the plants. Maybe I'm going to cut the grass. Maybe I'm going to clean the garage. Have you guys ever had that happen before? Where you start just one task and all of a sudden it snowballs and 2 or 3 hours later, you're like, I just cleaned the whole apartment, house, condo, mansion, wherever you live. That's called stacking wins. That's called stacking wins, and that is so important because a body in motion stays in motion. That is like the first thing you learn in like first or second grade about energy. Is it kinetic energy? I'm not even going to go there because I'm not that smart, and I'm going to embarrass myself if I start trying to use scientific terms. A body in motion stays in motion. When I wake up at 5:15 every single morning. I hate waking up at 5:15 every morning. I really don't like it. I really don't like it. I like drive to work. I'm like, oh my God. Or drive to the gym. I'm like, oh my goodness, this stinks. I walk in kind of sluggish, kind of whatever. And for the first 20 minutes of my workout, I really don't like it. All of a sudden you get into it. Like, all right, I got a little bit of sweat going. Now all of a sudden I get back. I just worked out. I'm like, I'm going to keep my body healthy. I'm going to have a nice smoothie. I have a nice smoothie. I'm like, oh, all right. I'm feeling great. I'm going to journal a little bit. All right. Gratitude journal. Text one of my, my personal gratitude for the day. All right. Feel pretty good. A couple gratitude lists out. Like told somebody I loved them. I appreciated them. Now I'm driving to work at 8 a.m. I'm like, let's go, dude. We just worked out a little bit. We fueled our bodies. And now I'm ready to rock at 8 a.m. to go to work. But if I don't wake up and lift, I could leave for 8 a.m. like, kind of groggy, right? A body in motion stays in motion. It sucks to wake up that early, but I feel great after the workout. The hardest part about this whole thing is starting. It's starting. Hunter's one of the hardest working individuals I know. He's walking through one of the hardest times of his career currently. The hardest part is starting. Right now he's focusing on his work. He just told me earlier. He's kind of got away from his personal workouts, eating habits, talking to family and friends. And he literally told me right before this episode, I know exactly what I need to do. He's like, I know exactly what I need to do to get back to who I am, what I love doing. But the hardest part is starting. If you need tips on how to start, tune into one of our previous episodes to learn how to avoid procrastination and delaying your start. Because we talk about it, because it's important. All right, last point here today, and it's a good one. Actually, it's not the last point. We got 2 more. You guys are stuck with me for a little bit longer. Sorry about it. I think this might be one of the more important points of the day. How to have an effective day is what we're talking about today. That's what we're talking about today. You want to know how to have an effective day? Brain dump. Brain dump everything you need to do at one part of your day. It could be in the morning when you wake up. Here's what I need to do today. Just put everything on a piece of paper. Don't think about it. Don't put it into space or, I don't know. Don't say it out loud. Put it on paper. Brain dump everything. Could be at night. Do it at night because then you can turn your brain off. And then you can go to sleep and have a peaceful night's sleep and wake up and feel great in the morning. This is so important, guys and girls. I'm telling you, this is, if you get anything from today's episode, please let it be this. Please brain dump. Please practice brain dumping. It is awesome. This helps avoid stress and improve the quality of your sleep. If you're doing it, I always do it at night because then you just let everything out, all worry, anxiety, everything you got to do tomorrow. It's all off your plate. As soon as it's on paper, you don't have to think about it anymore. Think of your body and your brain like a full bucket of water. Like actually, like think of your full body and your full brain as a bucket of water. Visualize. I was gonna say visualize yourself like being submerged in water, but that's like visualizing yourself drowning. So don't do that. I don't want you guys to do that. Okay, I don't want you to do that. The bucket is slowly leaking all day. As you go to sleep, your bucket should be near empty because that allows you to sleep, reset, and wake up with a full bucket of water. Callie asks me all the time, what are you thinking about? Hey, what do you think about? What do you think about? If you've ever been around a female in your life, you've probably heard that question before. What are you thinking about? 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 Every guy out there is laughing. They're like, yep, got that. Every girl is like, I don't do that. Yeah, you do. I actually, like, probably 50% of the time, like, I'm thinking about nothing. She's like, what do you mean you're thinking about nothing? I brained up everything on a piece of paper. I create spaces to think about certain items. If I'm working out, which is because my body's in motion, that's where most of my thoughts, that's where most of the podcast episodes, that's where most of my, different techniques and skills that I use at work come from, because a body in motion stays in motion and wants to work. My brain is healthy. It's clicking on high levels. My blood's flowing. If I'm working out and I have a podcast episode idea or something that I want Callie to, help me with or something of that nature, I'll just text it to Cal or I'll text it to Hunter, 1 to 3 bullet points. And maybe if it's a podcast episode, like a potential title of the podcast episode. And I will not revisit that thought until, let's take this podcast for example, until Hunter and I sit down and have days like today where we are building episodes and recording. That's it. Like, we could go weeks without, because of what I told you earlier about how we stack our success list. There could be 2 or 3 weeks in between stacking the success list and putting this stuff together. I will have an idea and text it to him, and we will not, him and I both do this. We will not revisit that until we come together, because we have a planned time of when we get to think about it. Because if I start going down a rabbit hole of thinking about work or the podcast while I'm working out, now my brain is not re-energizing. Now my brain is not recharging. The goal of me working out is to focus on me and myself and me and myself and me and myself. Not to focus on the podcast, not to focus on work. Because I have time to focus on work. Like 8 to 12 hours a day I focus on work. That doesn't need to be the hour I'm at the gym. Hunter and I will get together for 6 to 8 hours on the weekend. We have that time. We have scheduled that time to work on the podcast. I do not need to be doing that when it's my time to refill my cup. Because my time in the gym is for me, not for the podcast. So I write it down, and I know that I have a scheduled time to think about that idea more in depth. Allows me to rest better, allows me to refuel better, allows you to be ready to attack the day. Truthfully, this is going to sound bad because I consider myself a hard worker. I don't think about work before 8 a.m. most days. I don't, because I know at 8 a.m. we start work at 9. So I know at 8 a.m. I will still have an hour more of work than everybody else in the office. And that keeps me going in the day because I will outwork everybody, no questions asked. But I will not think about work before 8 a.m. If I think about something before 8 a.m. or after 5:30 on a regular day, I'll just text it to myself and I'll do it when I get in the office, because I have scheduled that time to work on work. Some people might not like that, but it allows me to have mental capacity for everything else. It allows me, when I step into this house, if I have a work idea, I just write it down, I text it, I'll do it in the morning, and I get to be with my wife. It allows me to have time by myself. If I think about someone, I'm on the golf course, text it to myself, because a golf course, if I'm out with my friends and family, is not for work. I have time for work. I've scheduled time for work. If you get anything out of this podcast today, it's that. Brain dump everything to give yourself and your brain more capacity for the things that it should be focused on. Last point today, control your environment. You want to know how to win at life? You want to know how to win at life? This is how you win at life. This is how you win at life. Surround yourself with individuals. Surround yourself with teammates. Surround yourself with friends and family who help fuel you for an effective day. You cannot do everything on your own. Macho man in the corner. I know you think you can. You can't. Strong, independent women. I'm a strong, independent woman. You need help. Not because you're a woman, okay? Don't take that the wrong way. We all need help. We need good people, good teammates, good friends, good family, good individuals around us to help fuel us for an effective day. I'm in my suit for my wedding, okay? I'm going to bring you back to my wedding. I'm in my suit for my wedding. I'm ready. It's super easy being a guy, okay? Like, being a guy is the easiest thing in the world. I feel bad for all women during weddings. Like, you guys are up at 8:30 getting ready. I didn't get to the venue. I didn't get to my wedding venue until 2 p.m. and I was ready by 2:30. And then I sat for 2 more hours doing nothing till 4:30 because the ceremony's at 5. Girls got up. I think Callie got up at I think it was 6:30. She got 4 hours of sleep because we partied the night before because we like having a good time. I think she got up at 6:30 and walked down the aisle at 5. She was getting ready the whole time. It took me like a half hour, okay? So if you're a woman out there, I'm sorry, your life is way harder than us guys. Way harder. And if you're a guy out there and don't think that's true, like, you're just flat out wrong. At my wedding, I'm watching all of our friends and family get off these buses. We got these shuttle buses that brought everybody to the venue. And I'm thinking, I'm sitting there, I'm like, dang, we got some good-looking friends. I'm like, we got some good-looking friends out there. Like, everybody coming off the bus, I'm like, whoo, man, that guy looks great. That girl looks great. And then all of a sudden I keep thinking about it. I'm like, well, no, duh. Health is important to Callie and I. And we surround ourselves with healthy individuals. So, yeah, everybody getting off that bus looked great in their suits and their dresses, for sure. Because we surround ourselves with those people. Right? How can you control your environment? How can you control your day? If one of your goals is to drink X amount of ounces of water, when you leave the apartment, the condo, the house, the mansion that day, why don't you set a bottle of water right on the floor? So when you open it up, you knock the bottle of water over with the door. I promise you, you will think about water as soon as you walk in the door if you knock it over every single day. Right? What can you control in your environment? What can you control in your environment? And whatever you can control, however you can control it, do that. Is your goal to not have sweets, to not have carbs, to whatever your goal is? Just don't bring sweets into the house, apartment, condo, mansion, wherever you live. That's it. Just don't bring them into the house. You cannot be tempted by chocolate if there's no chocolate in your house. It is that simple. It's that simple. If your goal is to eat salad 3 times a week, you better have salad in your fridge. Control your environment. If that's your goal, how can you control your environment? Listen, that's how you have an effective day. We went through a couple points today of how to have an effective day. I hope these were impactful for you. Comment on Instagram, comment on LinkedIn to let us know what your thoughts are. We want to hear from you. We have absolutely loved this podcast. We're starting season 2. We are so excited. I'm going to remind you again, we have 3 new team members. Show them some love. Kyron and Maddie are taking over social media posts. Cole is taking over the sales world. If you have any companies, individuals that want exposure, that want to get on the podcast, that want to sponsor the podcast, that want to have exposure for their company or an individual, let us know. Cole would be happy to have an inbound lead, as all salespeople do. And go show Kyron and Maddie some love on all of our social medias. We now have Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, and a YouTube. We love you guys, and we are so excited as we start season 2 here of Attitude Effort Results. Let's inspire others and continue to grow together.